Well, that wasn't a way you wanted the Bears to lose, but the Bears choke away the game to the Detroit Lions. Where the Lions come back and they beat the Bears. And we really should have won this game. Just too many times in this game, the Bears shot themselves in the foot. There's multitudes of ways. You can say it was the conservative play calling, the last few offensive drives. Um, Carlos Santos missing an extra point. That was ultimately the game changer of what happened there, because this game might still be going on potentially if Carlos Santos makes his extra point. The referees, Lord have mercy, for 2 straight weeks in a row, the referees hosed the Bears. The Kyler Gordon forcing Jared Goff out of bounds, it can be debatable. In some cases, you can say that was a flop by Jared Goff. In other cases, you can say Kyler Gordon probably should know better not to do that. If anything, I'm of the opinion, you already know the league is so quarterback protection heavy. Don't touch the guy at all, even if you're trying to come up from behind and and it doesn't matter. You're trying to come up and punch the ball at the ball's going out of bounds. What are you trying to do? But the Jalen Johnson, who he didn't have a good game. He was flat out awful today.
He got beat. He got beat by. I mean, what was it, number 85? He got beat by a tight end on a slant route.
Yeah.
That on what was it, 3rd and long?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
Kyler should have known better. You should automatically know when the quarterback is making that move towards the sideline. Just let him jump. Just let him go. However, that interception by Justin Fields was crucial. That interception shot. Now, I don't know if he was trying to make a play or throw the ball away. What looked like to me is that he was waiting for the receiver to get open so the receiver can make a play. I would have personally hoped that he would throw the ball away so we can keep possession.
Or just take the sack and just punt the ball away.
Or just take the sack. But he was heading towards the sideline, so it would behoove him to, throw it out of bounds or take the sack. But he tried to make a play. It didn't work out in his favor. And we did wound up getting the ball back and scoring again based on another Justin Fields great play. And Cairo Santos just shanked it. I mean,
I don't know how he shanked it. You would think you see, this is my issue. You would think the Lions kicker would be the guy shanking kicks in Chicago. But pretty much a reliable kicker here in Chicago, what is it? He shanks the kick, which costs the game. But before you started talking, the Jalen Johnson penalty of illegal hands to the face. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, the Justin Fields interception changed the game because it made it a tie game right at that point. The Carlos Santos missed thing definitely changed the game and pretty much losses the game there. But if I want to be honest, you can honestly probably make a point. The reason why the Lions won this game was due to a phantom penalty, illegal hands to the face. All Jalen Johnson does is do a jab to the upper shoulder pad area, and they're calling that illegal hands to the face. Dude literally flops as bad as any other NBA player would flop. Goes down, acts like he got hit in the face or hit in the throat, and Jack Sanborn gets an interception on that same play, and at that point, the Bears were up 24-10. Complete momentum, right in our corner. That would have changed the game. It would have put the Lions out of their misery. They would have been done. But because a phantom referee call of illegal hands to the face, it took away all that momentum. Next play, Lions get a walk-in touchdown because you take all that momentum away. And after that, it only adds on to that Justin Fields interception. More momentum that gets them. Justin Fields get that momentum back, only for Cairo Santos to screw it all up and miss the extra point. And then, I believe, what is it? I believe the Bears get a stop after that.
They do.
They get a stop. They get the ball, and then Getsy's conservative play calling on that final offensive drive before we get it one last time. after that. Stupid. I think the first play was like a read option. I'm like, no, dude. Why? Why 2 run plays? You run 2 run plays, and then guess what? You pass the ball and it doesn't go in you, and it's a rollout, but everything's all jammed up there. Now I thought Justin Fields was going to cut back and go all the way around, but we didn't get a full view of it. Maybe he could have went all the way around, but he saw Aiden Hutchinson back there. So
yeah. And then what happens after that is that they give the ball back to Detroit with too much time on the clock.
Yep.
But the way the defense has been playing, the way the referees have been calling the game, getting that ball back with about a little bit under 4 minutes left, 5 minutes. I think it was. I want to say it was 4:13 left, 4:14 left, and that just was too much time. And with the way that the Lions were focusing on the run, it just wasn't a good situation for the Bears defense, And with the way the ball, once they're down 31-30, they pretty much have to throw the ball in order to get close to for a field goal. And 2 plays in a row, Justin Fields, he had easy opportunities to run the ball and get out of bounds, especially on that 4th and 8. He didn't do it. He just waiting for receivers to get open. I mean, they missed 2 tackles prior to
He looked like on that 4th down. He looked like on that 4th down. He looked like he was about to rip it, but then there was a guy in his face.
Well, I mean, he didn't even try to run. I mean, he kept going back when he should have been trying to move because they dropped every. I mean, for the most part, they didn't spy him out the entire game. So, but in that situation, I would have hoped he would. That would have been the time for me that I would have thought Justin Fields, when all else broke down, he would just ran for those 8 yards just to try to get a first down, but he didn't. He tried to wait for coverage to open up, and it just didn't work in his favor. Now, granted, I don't blame Santos. Santos has been the most consistent Bear
sorry,
over the last year.
Sorry, I understand. I understand that, but you can't miss an extra point.
It happens. I get it. I understand totally. But at the same time, though, we still had control of the game at 30-24, whether he shanked the kick or not. We still had a lead, and we still had control of the game. It just the things that happened after that is what, for me, was the issue. Now, granted, I mean, come on now. I mean, it's 1 kick out of how many over the last since Santos joined the club? I mean, so just let's not jump on the I hate Cairo Santos bandwagon.
I'm not on that. I'm just saying, well, you got to do your job, and he didn't execute.
He shanked the kick, but at the same time, we still had the lead at 30-24. The reason why everyone's so upset is because we all know that Bears defense, and 30-24 with 4 minutes left was not a good situation for that Bears defense. We all knew that the Detroit Lions was going to come back down and score. That's the problem. Yes, Kyrie, if we would have had a great defense, I don't think we would have been talking about how bad he shanked the kick. I don't think we would have. I think we would have been like, okay, no worries, he shanked the kick. We got a really good defense. We can stop him. But unfortunately, Jalen Johnson allowed a tight end to beat him on a slant.
Yeah.
I'm like, a tight end? And I think it's their backup tight end, if I'm not mistaken.
It's pretty much the backup to TJ Hawkins when they still had him.
Yeah, I was just like, come on, man. Of all the things, you're supposed to be our number 1 corner. You can't cover a tight end.
I don't know. See, my thing is, I don't know if he's still hurt with his quad injury or something, but if he's hurt, why is he out there?
Why is he? Exactly. And then on top of it, again, I mean, they couldn't. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown got him throughout the entire football game. He had 10 receptions for almost 120 yards. He blitzed them. He got him the entire game. And then in the second half, Detroit focused on the run. Bears. I mean, now I will say this: Justin Jones played an amazing football game.
He's the one guy right now that I would be perfectly fine if the Bears bring him back on another contract.
I got to admit, he played an amazing football game. And him and Blackson didn't do bad at all. And I always got on. I've been on them throughout the entire football season. And you know what I keep telling these undersized DTs can't handle the A gaps? Well, they did it today. to the point whereas Jamal Williams, they had to get him off tackle on inside zone runs because they just wasn't getting anything up the middle. So, but we all know at 30-24, we all know they were going to march right back down the field and score. We know it. You knew it, and I'm pretty sure every Chicago Bear fan in that stadium knew it, that they were just going to march down the field because, again, our defense is, average to below average defense. Kyler Gordon still made a couple of rookie mistakes. Jack Sanborn, I got to admit, I mean,
he played a good game.
He is making us played his ass off today. He had 2 sacks, should have had an interception and a fumble recovery. So I mean, he had an overall total great football game, and it all went for naught because again, secondary, specifically Jalen Johnson, couldn't cover their tight end on a slant pattern.
Yeah. And then this also leads to the fact that when you go back to that last offensive drive for the Lions scored the game-winning touchdown, guess he's got to be more aggressive with his play calling. You can't trust his defense anymore. You got to be aggressive with your play calling.
Maybe that's why he ran the ball. Because he wanted to be able to, run clock to keep that defense off the field. But I don't know.
We can't do that no more. We don't have a vaunted defense until it gets built back.
That's why you run the ball, run clock, keep that defense on the sideline. Because if you start passing the ball, I mean, the clock isn't moving. So I can kind of understand why Getsy chose to do what he did, but to me, it's a total team effort. Justin made a couple of mistakes, in my opinion, which cost us the loss. Obviously, the one is the interception, and the other one was that third and 8 and that 4th and 8 when we had the ball and we could have marched down to try to get a field goal, which he just didn't chuck in and run. But instead, what he decided to do is try to pass. So, but Jalen Johnson did not have a great game. No. Kyler Gordon didn't have a great game.
You can honestly say the entire secondary didn't have a good game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, well, I can't say the entire second. I think Jackson and Brisker, for the most part, did their job. It's hard for them to do their job when the cornerbacks underneath them aren't doing theirs, specifically Gordon and Johnson. But this was a heartbreaker, man, because, I mean, we could have made some moves towards the division.
Yep.
And the Vikings won another lucky one.
Yep.
So just
again, you also have
we scored another 30, but we did score another 30 points, and I think overall that's pretty good for the offense.
Yeah. There was also many times where we had Jared Goff clearly in the backfield for sacks, and you just have guys not whiffing. Like you can't Kyler Gordon where he got the penalty where he pushed him out. He absolutely whiffed on him.
Yeah.
How do you not hit a stationary guy like Jared Goff? He can't move. You got to make that hit. I think Travis Gibson, he had an opportunity to miss a sack, and he completely whipped on him. He just got sidestepped. I don't know what these coaches are telling these guys. Like, you would think, and these are just straight up fundamentals. I coach football. The number one thing is you got to break down and make your tackle. These guys are just coming in like a hot missile thinking, oh, the guy's just going to stay there. I'm going to pop him. They're worried about getting the pop hit. Just break down, make the hit. There you go. Tackle him. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Make the textbook tackle instead of trying to look for the big hit. Now, the offensive line for me was another problem. Braxton Jones, holding penalties. Yep. Now, I will say this. Tevin Jenkins did not play today, but Schofield balled out in his place.
Yes.
He balled out in his place. That right side was solid. It was the left side that got us the entire time throughout the entire game. Braxton Jones was not good today.
Yeah, we had a chance to go up 7-0. As a holding call, completely ruined the momentum on that drive.
He had 2 holding penalties in the first quarters. I mean, it was just, again, total team effort.
Yeah.
The loss. I mean, you really can't blame one player. one instance. I mean, it was just a bunch of people that contributed to the loss.
Yeah. I will say I wish that they got Claypool more involved. You know,
I had texted you because I was like, "Where is he?"
yeah.
And I didn't see him much in the first half.
I didn't see
And
him
that,
in the entire game, really, to be honest, other than that one reverse play.
yeah, I was like, I'm wondering. I mean, I don't know if he's hurt or
I
they're
think
just
he's
trying to
fine.
get him
I don't know if
acclimated.
I don't know if this is it's the whole thing of he's still learning the playbook, but come on,
Yeah,
Gets.
I think.
You guys traded unless if that's the case, then they did say he might need a few weeks to learn this playbook because I guess this
I got
playbook.
it. That's the only thing I can think of. He's just trying to get acclimated, with the playbook. You know, a pretty. I might think that it might be a pretty complicated playbook
That's probably what
considering
it is. It probably is.
gets to be, but I would have liked to have seen red zone than what they did with him. I didn't see much of him in the red zone. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought there's some of the receivers played fairly well. Darnell Mooney obviously played the best out of all the receivers. I did like Pettis making a tough catch. And even Byron Pringle, he had some nice catches here and there. So it's good to get him back into the
He had a penalty too.
yeah.
He had a penalty too. He had a crucial penalty. Now we recovered from that holding penalty, but it was a crucial penalty. My thing is, if you know and Cole Kmet too had a crucial holding penalty.
Yeah.
If you know that Montgomery got the first down, why are you going to hold the cornerback?
No idea.
Even if he makes a cut on the inside just to try to, make a play on the ball. The first down was had at that particular moment.
Yeah.
It was just bonehead plays from top to bottom.
And that was one thing coming into the season. We pretty much made a mention of the fact that like, oh, they barely get penalties. Now it seems even if some of them are phantom penalties, they're still getting around 9 to 10 penalties so far. Like this game, then they had like 9 or 10 penalties. And again, take some of those away because they were bad calls. You just can't have these penalties that shoot you in the foot, especially a team that's this bad.
Nope.
Nope.
And
speaking of Cole Kmet,
the Lions didn't play good.
Yeah.
Lions didn't play good.
I would say the Lions got lucky.
Yeah.
They had help.
Yeah.
They had help from the refs.
That interception, those 2 bad play calls, the many play calls in the first half. I mean, we wasn't really great on third downs in the fourth quarter, whereas, they were good on third downs in the fourth quarter. And for the most part, those are the things that really stabbed us in the foot and kept us moving forward. And that's why we lost the game.
Yeah. Cole Kmet, I thought he had another good game. 5 touchdowns in the past 3 games. Hey, it seems like him and Justin Fields, their connection is good. And he's a reliable target to go to. And maybe that was another reason why the Bears didn't do good on that 3rd and 4th down, because he actually bumped knees with Okudah. And because of that, you take away another weapon right there, another soft blanket for Justin Fields probably. And I understand Justin Fields still got to get the ball out and everything and pass it to somebody. But, Cole Kmet's still a weapon out there that they could utilize. Would you going back to that? Do you think they should have? I don't think they would have called the pass interference on that, but do you think they could have or no? When he bumped knees on
no incidental contact. When I first saw it, Justin Fields kind of complained about it, but no, I didn't see anything that says he didn't do anything with his hands to impede Kmet's progress. He also, looked to try to avoid them. It just looked like it was just incidental contact.
And then before the last thing, what did you think on that Cole Kmet down the sideline where the linebacker was covering? Did you think that was a PI?
No.
Okay.
No.
That could be another debatable penalty that could have been called. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah. No, no, don't get me wrong. Now they called defensive holding on one. I think it was a play in which Montgomery should have caught the football.
yeah,
Yeah, but the one that we're talking about with that on commit, they could have called defensive holding on that. I didn't think it was pass
yeah,
interference,
yeah,
but they could have called defensive holding because he was definitely grabbed outside the 5 yards before that play.
yeah. But overall, other Cole Kmet had another. Go ahead.
Yeah, he had another Pro Bowl type game. And I think that's the benefit to us using Justin Fields the way we've been using him. Instead of using him as a pocket passer, we're getting this kid on the run. Now, granted, the problem comes in, like, let's just say we need him to throw the football and sit in the pocket and throw the football. There's a couple of times he did early in the football game. There was a couple of times he did in the third quarter. He had one really nice throw to, I want to say it was Dante Pettis.
Yeah,
That was pretty nice pocket. Um, he did kind of get out of the pocket to make a pass to Pringle, but right now, that's why we need Claypool, man. We got to have Claypool. We got to get Claypool acclimated, and because for the most part, Jeff Okudah locked him up when he was in.
yeah. And this also goes to Getsy. I'm still waiting on him just to have some slant concepts, some slant patterns. I'm still not seeing that. Like,
neither am I. It's all vertical.
Yeah. You would think, especially on that last drive, run a slant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Help at least give some pressure off the defense.
Yeah. Run multiple slants across the middle. Get the linebackers and safeties to cross up a little bit.
Yep.
Like they were doing us.
Yeah. It's just some of these things, again, Getsy, it's just like there's some play calls I like, but it's like, for example, when Justin Fields did the whole run to truck that touchdown, it was a bad play call. It was going nowhere until Justin Fields made something out of nothing about it. Yeah. And again, Getsy, in my opinion, there's moments in the game where, okay, that's a great play call. And then there's other moments I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, dude, what are you calling, my guy?
Well, I'm of the sort right now at this particular moment in the season, whereas I'm just like, you know what? It's everybody's first year together. It really is.
Yeah.
Aside from, granted, I know Getsy has been coaching a long time. He has experience. He should already know what he has in Justin Fields to be able to make the right calls for him. But making the right calls for him and making the right calls from in the right situation are two totally different things. And it was just a snowball effect for a lot of stuff. And yeah, man, this was just a bad loss all the way around.
Yeah. You should have, as we're ending this video off, it's you got to win these games. You got to win these games. You just you had control of the game. Yes, the refs, albeit they freaking gifted the Lions momentum. Yeah. At the end of the day, Justin Fields can't throw that really bad interception. And at the end of the day,
correct.
Yes, you can't have conservative play calling on a drive where, guess what, you can't really trust your defense. And then the defense got to do its job and execute and get stops. Simple as that.
Correct. I mean, we were up 24-10, and they pretty much just went on a 14-0 run.
And even then, we were up 24-10 before they ended up getting the ball back again.
Right.
On that phantom penalty drive. Again, Luke Getsy was pretty conservative. He was just running the ball and everything. I'm like, why are we running the ball? At least threaten these guys and make them move the ball down the field and everything. Again, simple things. Guys, I still need to get included in there. Hopefully Tevin Jenkins comes back next week against the Falcons because
Tevin Jenkins was not us not having Tevin Jenkins was a problem. It was not, because I thought Schofield did damn good today in his place. I think the issue for me was, just like it is for you, that when we needed to stress the Detroit Lions down the field, Getsy didn't call anything up.
Yep.
To hit him up down the field. I mean, it was clear they were in a lot of man-to-man situations, and we just didn't hit them up down the field. We didn't play Claypool enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't think he played the first quarter. He got that one play in the second quarter. I didn't see him in the third, and then all of a sudden he miraculously appears in the fourth.
Yeah.
I didn't see him in the red zone, and we were in the red zone quite a bit today.
Yeah.
So, but again, like I say, he has a lot to learn. I think he has a lot to learn about him to know what to do with him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I thought Justin Fields, even though he had a bad interception, I still thought he had a solid game again. What more can you ask for? He pretty much even though on last play, like I said, he's got to get the ball out, but the dude was literally fighting off almost 3 defenders on him, like right then and there, breaking those tackles just to try to get the ball off.
I would just ran for the first down, got out of bounds, stopped the clock. But because they were not spying him, they were too busy trying to get to him. So again, lessons learned. Another thing that we can say that Justin Fields, to add to Justin Fields is learning curve as a quarterback.
Yeah. I also kind of hope when I watch the press conference this week, I kind of do hope that Matt Eberflus, he actually chews out just take the fine. I don't know if they fined him this week, which I don't think he did. He did this whole passive aggressive thing where it's like, yeah, we send this thing. No, dude, you got to come out because one of your players on defense, your side of your ball that you like to call a lot, guess what? Got an interception, got a turnover that you always say we got to get turnovers. You got a turnover taken away. I'm sorry. He's got to come out and be a little bit more aggressive. Take the fine so that these referees know what they're doing. And again, it's this whole standpoint with these referees. Hold these guys accountable. Midweek before this game, of course, NFL officiating account comes out on Twitter and says, well, the play on Eddie Jackson, that was deemed not a PI. Oh, and the Chase Claypool call was a PI. And it's just like, okay, then what is going to happen to those referees that did not make those calls and did that? Are they going to get punished? Are they going to take money out of their paychecks and lose them? Are they going to get fired? No, we don't hear about what the NFL does to these guys. And again, I'm still asking, understand, devil's advocate. Yes, it would take the games longer and it would cut into game time. I don't care. Have a rule be instilled into next year where guess what? Flags can be challenged, especially these controversial ones at best. Just have it to where a coach can have a regular challenge and then a penalty challenge. Simple as that. They win the challenge.
Agree with that.
If
I agree with that.
If the coach throws out a penalty challenge and wins that challenge, then he can use it again in the second half if you throw it out in the first half. And if it's in the second half, wins it, you get another chance to challenge another penalty one more time in the second half, in the same half.
I get that, but the only problem with that is again, when you involve human error into the fray, and you're gonna call a penalty challenge, and the people you're calling a penalty challenge on are the ones who have to look and see if they got the call wrong. I mean, between human error and ego, do you honestly think they'll reverse their call? I personally think that they won't. But
I think
unless they have the booth in New York make that penalty challenge call.
Yeah.
So, there's got to be something that needs to be done for I think it's something a little more decisive that needs to be done for pass interference calls on that level. So we'll see. But it probably won't happen unless it happens in the playoffs, NFC Championship game. It definitely won't happen in the Super Bowl because that's when, for whatever reason, they seem to get those calls correct.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But anyways, the Bears lose a heartbreaking game to the Lions. Hopefully this means they got their calendars circled for the next time they play the Lions in Ford Field and you get your revenge. That's sometime later at the end of the year because the Lions were talking a bunch of game for a team that pretty much needed a little bit of assistance from the referees to win them the game, but I digress. It's definitely a game on the calendar the Bears need to circle because they got these guys. They had these dudes. They had these guys right where they wanted them, and they just lost them.
Adam, now granted, I will agree with you on this though. That Cairo Santos missed kick.
It changed the
The
game.
bottom, the bottom fell out after that.
Yeah.
It really did. I mean, the bottom fell out and it gave the Lions a boost that, I don't think, we were recovered to fight.
Yeah. And
That missed kick, that missed kick hurt.
That's the thing when you have bad teams. You can't make mistakes, and that goes for any sport, whether it's an NBA, MLB, the World Cup's coming up. If you're a bad team, you can't make simple mistakes that, guess what, cost your team in the butt. Simple.
And extra points are simple mistakes if you miss them.
Yep. The Bears are going to be playing a very tough Atlanta Falcons team in Atlanta, so that's not going to be an easy matchup there.
Oh.
Only other thing this Bears loss does is, I believe now they're freaking fourth place in the division, I believe.
They're tied for fourth with Detroit, but
okay, yeah. Only other thing is
because Detroit beat them, and they're both now. Well, actually, I think they're Detroit is 3-6, and the Bears are 3-7. So you are right. Bears are now currently in last place.
Yeah. But before we get out of here, yeah, they're gonna play a tough Falcons team, and yeah, they're gonna have to try to win in the game. Okay, they're gonna have to try to win, but hey, at least it's gonna improve their draft stock, I guess. But we should have won that game. But
yeah, we should have won that game. All right, let's call it quits. Go ahead and
all
do
right.
your thing.
Hey, call it quits. Don't be trying to leave on me. I'm just as mad as you are about this dang game.
Yeah, I know. This one hurt.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, guys.